What's going on, traders? It's me, Jeremy Alexander Newsome. I hope you're ready for this Wednesday's real life stock review. Got something pretty exciting I want to share with you. I want to show you what it looks like when 20 or so real life traders get together in the same building. Check this out.
Is it intimidating?
I'm coming in here.
He is my hero.
Look at this.
Blake is my hero.
That's right. Look at this.
Yes.
Look at this.
But yeah, Mark.
And then we come over here. Bam. Look at this.
If it moves higher,
Oh my goodness.
Tearing it up.
Killing it.
Yeah.
There's Doyle, the Doylester.
pretty big bullish volume down.
Man, amazing. Thanks so much for watching that video, traders. I appreciate it. Wow, this review could easily be 2 hours long, just talking about and discussing all the amazing activities that have happened over the last few days. I'm gonna show you some pictures in just a few moments, so feel free to stay tuned for any of those who care about looking at just some of what's going on and meeting some of the traders from around the world. Bottom line, if you did not get a chance to experience this year's live event, which many of you did not, simply because it did sell out so quickly, I would simply encourage you to do your absolute best to sign up for the next one as quickly as possible. I'll be releasing new information on that pretty soon. Within the next 2 months, you'll know the exact days, locations, times, details, all of that for the next live event for real, that I'll be a part of. So anyway, yeah, awesome stuff. The overall markets, all-time highs last week, and we're just S-curving. We're retesting right now. This is the retest gap on the SPY, and you can see that on the Qs as well. Here's the Qs, and we had some really good pullbacks in tech today. Today was a great day to be a day trader. In fact, just yesterday at 12:42 in the afternoon, I mentioned and made a pretty fierce statement, BABA and Tesla are going lower over the next few days. Let's all plan on how to take advantage of it. And my boy Danny says, let's put it all together. So really, yeah, that happened today for sure. BABA, so here's BA down 3.86%. Just had a really good signal kind of come in that BABA would be going lower, and we did, right? Especially gapping down with a retest gap. Here's your 5-minute chart. And as crazy as it sounds, this is the retest right here on BABA, right? Trades down, trades up, rolls over. I mean, and then it trades up, forms a support level right here, eventually breaks it down throughout the day. So yeah, BABA did sink a little bit lower, and that's kind of what I've been thinking for the last few days that BABA would do. Just low enough to make sure everyone who has any stops in here gets stopped out. Probably trade and fill this gap back from August, and maybe we get into the low 160s. I think that's entirely possible. Here's the weekly 100 on BABA, and it's at 152.43. So could we get down there? Very strong chance we could. Will we? I don't know, but I mean, that would be a big distribution phase. A lot of people would be playing that bearish for sure. And then, of course, I'm not saying it can't go lower, right? If it does, we'll be buying some puts, but as a protection. But as far as it bouncing off the 100, that seems like a pretty decently plausible event that we're going to occur. The CEO of JD.com, JD, is arrested on some pretty severe allegations. And here is the weekly chart. We were very bearish on JD after yesterday's gap. This is, again, the weekly time frame, so you get a nice gap on the weekly. We did go long, or at least a lot of traders did go long on JD long-term leaps at 31.72. And you would say, wow, Newsome, you're probably getting absolutely wrecked on those. Well, the crazy part is options could only go to 0. And those are for 2020. And for $5.10, we got triggered into some protective puts, right, at $1.55. And that happened on Friday of last week. So Tuesday, obviously, you get a very good gap and go. That was yesterday. Very good gap and go on JD. Perfect gap and go. Strong move. Gap down on a weekly chart. Gap down on a monthly chart. Gap down on a daily chart. Great gap. And then today, I mentioned if it goes lower, yesterday during Tech Giant Tuesday, I said, hey, if it goes lower, buy more protective puts. In fact, here's that clip right now. So anyway, that was the day trade. Now, we are in some leaps on this one.
off of a support. We got triggered into those on Friday, and those are up. Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase. The puts that we purchased are up. So we're up on the puts that we bought. We're also up on the calls that we sold. So we sold some September $33 calls for 30 cents. So those were up on, and the puts were up on. Robert Falco sold some puts at 26 for October. This chart does look deathly. This is a gap on all time frames, a weekly, a monthly, and a daily. As much as I want JD.com to go higher, I've once heard, someone's told me just because I want something to happen doesn't mean it will. So with this gap, usually if I get into a leap or a longer term trade, I know within 2 months if I'm going to be right or not. It does not seem that I'm going to be right on JD. So if this thing continues any lower, I'll probably just buy more protective puts. More protective puts? And I had a lot of traders ask me today, when and how long do I buy protective puts for if I'm on shares or leaps? This is right about that time, right about that 2 month time frame. 2 months, kind of at the money.
So that was from just yesterday. What's interesting about these puts is we bought them for $1.55, and many traders are already selling them today for about $4.25. Now, if you do the quick math, right, if you were able to buy those puts for $1.55 and sell them for $4.25, that is a gain of approximately $2.70. And if you buy the option, right, the long-term leap for $5.10, that means we've already decreased our dollar cost average on those options by $2.70, which brings you to approximately $2.40 of cost basis, which again, giving a whole year and a half on JD to potentially bounce, which is pretty good. Now, not only that, but we're also able to sell these calls up here to getting into a collar for 30 cents. So really the dollar cost average on these leaps at this particular moment in time about $2.40. And that's just if you got into the original trade. If you got in and you actually added to those protective puts today, you might have almost already paid off those leaps to their entirety. And now you own free leaps, which you can sell calls against, even though it will be a 33 call, so it's going to be pretty far away. But you got a whole year and a half for JD.com to potentially recover. Not saying it will or won't, but in a year and a half, a lot can happen, right? And if JD trades down maybe into 20 and then bounce back, comes up to $40, those calls will be worth at least $7. And if that happens, before January of 2020, then all is well. And I think that is certainly plausible, at least. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it certainly could. So yeah, if you're in JD long right now, as we are, at least protect yourself. And I feel really, really good that we did have a fantastic risk mitigation plan in place, and we were able to really take advantage of those options and doing what they need to be done. So that's JD.com. I had a few other requests. Let me get these pulled up really quick and see what you beautiful people want to look at. Again, so many things I could check out right now. Here's Micron. Micron, definitely a smidge on the bearish side. A decent gap. It looks like we might be closing below the 200 simple on the daily. And if we do that, we'll be closing below this lower shadow that occurred yesterday. That'll be slightly bearish. And from there, I'm kind of expecting and anticipating Micron to potentially trade back down to this $46 range. Now, there are some real life traders who have a $45 put sale for September. Here's the weekly chart. And again, no idea how low Micron will go. But you got the weekly EMA, the 50, which we have bounced off of before at 47.71. So we'll see what MU does on there, but as at this particular moment, if it can close, I'll be looking for a little bit more of a bearish move. Square finally getting a pullback after just making a mockery of the bulls the last few days, trading like an absolute gargantuan beast. Got an 85 covered call expiring in 2.5 weeks. So hopefully Square gets a little bit of a rest, able to buy back those covered calls at some point, or just let them expire worthless while Square hangs out. Really, this is a good opportunity to buy some dips. I'm just really happy that most of the tech market is getting some pullbacks today because it really, really was needed. Here's Facebook. And Facebook A lot of people starting to buy some protection on Facebook as well. Facebook is dropping and breaking below support. The low of this candle is 166.56. The low of this candle is 166.84. This green line, I was talking about Facebook also just yesterday in Tech Giant Tuesday. With this bearish gap down in this lower shadow, I wanted to trade sideways and then short it or buy put, but it just didn't quite happen. It didn't trade sideways quite long enough, but that's okay. A little bit of a bear move. Most likely Facebook coming in to test this 161.58 area is the 100 simple on a weekly. And we have bounced off this general price before, so we'll get to kind of figure out if that indeed happens again, and it kind of looks like it might. So we'll just have to see what Facebook ends up doing. But right now, a little bit more on the short side, and a lot of traders are also in some protective puts, at least those who are in longer term positions. Here is TEVA. This was also requested. TEVA, actually kind of a very small inside candle. Almost a perfect inside candle. Very close to the 100 simple. Here's the weekly. And the big resistance was, in fact, this 100 simple on a weekly chart. That was the big resistance for TVA Pharmaceuticals. So in this particular instance, if you're going bullish, I'd probably wait unless you're just tiptoeing in and playing this as a little bit of a longer term perspective. Before I dive into any more, let me just throw up some pictures your way for this current retreat. Really a phenomenally, explosively exciting time. Yesterday we packed out an entire warehouse, what's called the Showcase. Shout outs to all my good friends at Label Live, giving us the opportunity to participate in that action. And then after that, so here's just some more pictures. Went out for a nice dinner. Check out this killer photo right here. So this is after the end of dinner. That's your boy getting propped up by the squad after having some delicious beverages and some incredible cheese dip, and just, man, what a good night that was. That was at Gray's in downtown Franklin. There's everyone who was wearing a real-life trading shirt. That's Chief, Kristen, Steven, my boy Justin Linderman, Brad Reed, myself, and Justin J, who got 3 R's, ladies and gentlemen, today on futures. So good job, Justin. I think he's up 6 R's for the week, actually. And, of course, this is the event of a lifetime. This happened today. Team Reed versus Team Anderson. We split up the traders into 2 teams and had them trade for a competitive advantage to see who would win in a trading competition, and Team Anderson was able to take the gold for today in a good victory. Shout outs to Team Anderson, and shout outs to Team Brad Reed. First time we've ever done anything like this. It was really fun. Had a great time refereeing a trading competition. Man, I'm just so excited about the next live event that I'll get an opportunity to be a part of it with you, and then of course the next real-life trading live events. Going to be so many opportunities to spend time with you. And just, man, here's the whole crew together, just rocking out Arrington Vineyards yesterday, having a little bit of grape juice, if you will, enjoying the sun. Let me go down the whole list. I have memorized every single person at the retreat. Justin Linderman and Justin Jeffrey. There's Ron in the background. Robert Falco, Kristen, Frank Doyle, Judy, Angel, myself. Troy, Jason Smith, DJ, this is Steve, that's Matt, that's Steve King, that's Brad, that's Blake, that's Chief, and that's Albert. Just an amazing group of people. Ashley was not at that particular point in time, but Ashley was always in the background just making everything happen, and it was a wonderful experience. But again, just tons of great pictures, tons of phenomenal opportunities. So happy to be a part of it all. Just absolutely fired up. Let's go look at a few more that were requested. Here's Intel. And Intel, I don't have much on Intel right now. I mean, again, you're at the 50 on the weekly. You've had some pullbacks. You're at kind of that really do or die spot with this little doji happening right now. A lot of people asking, is Intel going to post that little, inverted head and shoulders type of look? And that's the part that I don't know for sure. I don't see anything that I absolutely love short term on a swing trade, but if this thing can break lower, that'd be great. If it could break higher, that'd be great. Let me share you some of the trades that I placed today. This was BZUM. This was a trade that a lot of real-life traders did place today, and I didn't get as good as a fill as I would have liked to have, but here's pretty much what happened. So this one was one that we posted. Let me scroll up. Give me a few quick seconds. Where are we at? It was before I got there. So it had to be right here. So this is 8:33, 3 minutes after market open, and there it was. All right, I did mention it was a bearish stop limit. I actually ended up having to do a stop market because things were moving too quickly and I had to go join the rest of the team. Didn't get a really good fill, actually. It was about 50.29, almost the low of this wick. But if you did play this on a 3-minute chart, you had a really good breakdown. This is what most traders played, was this retest right here. That little move. Jason Smith, a lot of traders on Team Reed played this bearish move right there as it broke down, retested, and had a nice rollover. And in fact, again, this was the target, 49.23. And the crazy part is this was a tweezer bottom on BZU and got real lucky, folks. This never happens. 49.22 was the low of the day. Now, that was a winner. There's another winner, was on Alaska Airlines, ALK. This is a swing trade that a lot of us are in together. We got in at 65.03, pretty much based on this candle right here. 65.03 by 63.80, and we're out of half of our position. We've already exited a quarter, I believe was on this day right here, which is the 28th of August. Exit another quarter today. So the rest of the half of Alaskan Airlines, I'm going to do my best to hold for 72.77, which would be about a 4-hour trade if we get up there. That'd be really cool on Alaska Airlines. Pretty pumped for that to happen. But the trades that I did lose on today, so today was a very interesting day. Billy. So try to play this one based off of this earnings gap right here. You had an earnings gap. It closed above the 100 on the 29th. It retested, and then it just rolled over. So we got stopped out on Billy. Got stopped out on IQ yesterday. Now IQ looks like it's going to go a little bit lower. Do have some puts on IQ. And most likely going to get stopped out of Caterpillar any moment. That was a bearish trade. That's probably going to be a loss. AMAT is a bearish position that we're in, and it's really not doing much, but we are in bearish, so I guess that's kind of cool. So that's AMAT. That's kind of hanging out. But we also got stopped out of APPN this was a race car. I loved this setup, everything about it, candles, volume, averages, everything. And we literally got triggered in yesterday and got stopped out today. So we were in this trade like in a cumulative 6 hours of trading time, maybe. APPN probably won't be trading that one for a while unless I do something non-directional. I'll try taking it twice. Got stopped out like within the very next day, 2 separate occasions. So it looks like this one's going to be a tough cookie to crack. But anyway, I'll post some final numbers once the market closes, but I'll be down a little bit on the day, but really not that much. Probably about half an hour or so, give or take, right around there. So two down days in a row for September, but if we get another sell-off tomorrow, I think we're really nicely primed and ready for that. If we get a bounce, primed for that as well. Let's see, what else did you guys look at? I had some requests for ADVM. My good buddy's looking at this as a cup and handle, and I do have to agree that this pattern does look nice. Really good breakout, nice pullback. A lot of bulls came in, and you're getting a little bit of a retest right now. Here's the exponential moving averages, so those look good on the weekly. Here's the daily, so you have this retest gap. Those look good there. Here's the long-term moving averages. So yeah, I actually like this one. This is the one you're probably going to want to keep on your watch list. Nice retest gap. So let's see if we can pull back a little bit to the moving averages, but ADVM could be a nice saucy one to look at. Shout out to my good buddy Steve. I gave him a shout out earlier right here. Congrats, Steve, for focusing daily on AMD, playing a 10-cent approach and snagging 0.9 Rs today. Now, I will admit, Steve got pretty lucky, but hey, sometimes it's good to be lucky. Here's what Steve did. Here's the pre-market. So again, this is one of the traders that was in the live event this week, and he's playing a 1-minute chart. Got in with a pre-market breakout. So pre-market was right here at 29.58, and he got out right there at 29.68. 10-cent stop entry target. I mean, nice 1R. Could have even gotten 2 Rs on that, almost 3. But that was a fun move on AMD. So good job, Steve. Well done. And I think my buddy Neil Osborne is playing this one for a rollover this afternoon. Yep, I think he just got triggered in. So Neil, hope that one's working well for you. Anyway, AMD, strong candle, good trends. It's time for it to slow down a little bit. And I think that's what's about to happen. Cheryl has a put sale for September at 24. And a few traders making some good money. I think Iberto yesterday made 2 Rs on AMD. My buddy Arai making some money. So yeah, AMD, good trend. Buy the dip. Dip is kind of happening today. Let it pull back and kind of rest a little bit. And last but not least, here's Nike. A lot of people requesting Nike. Good gap coming down to the 50. Honestly, I think it's a buying opportunity on Nike. Pulled back to the 10 on the weekly. Inside candle today, right? Here's your hourly chart. So this was on the Colin Kaepernick news, which I think is just going to blow over most likely. Got some type of pennant pattern. So yeah, if Nike starts making higher highs and higher lows tomorrow, I think this is a buying opportunity on Nike, most likely. Don't have any positions on Nike though, so that's just something that we'll keep an eye out for. Anyway, we still have 1 day left for the real life trading retreat. Brad is driving back up to Indianapolis right now as we speak, or at least as I speak. And tomorrow we'll be in another office with all the real life traders, trading as a team, as a unit, answering questions, helping people trade their plan, and of course, enrich lives. I'm so pumped, so jazzed. And tomorrow I also fly to Boise, Idaho with my buddy Robert Falco, going on an elk hunting trip. Yeah, that's right, folks. I'm hunting some big game this weekend up in the mountains of Idaho with a few real-life traders, Randy, Kevin Toops, Falco, a few others. I've never done that before. An exciting time. Man, I'm just so fulfilled and so blessed, and it's just amazing to be a part of the team. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all the opportunities, the knowledge, the wisdom, everything that you're bestowing upon real-life trading family. It's just an amazing privilege to be a part of each and every one of you and be a part of the trading community. Thank you so much. Just some amazing pictures. Here's the girls of the group. You got Judy, Kristen, and Angela. This is Angela, this is Kristen, and this is Judy. And Angela got 1 R today on Roku, so great job, Angela. Here's some of the boys, some of the squads. Black Belt Jiu-Jitsu Monster, Ron Demerit, Ripped Machine, Zach Efron, Lookalike, Blake Anderson, that's one of your moderators, Stephen King, Frank Doyle from Atlanta. Anyway, there's me, myself, Mr. Blake Anderson, and Brad Reed as well. Anyway, just so amazing. You guys are awesome. I'll see you all later. Sorry for the long review, and until then, remember, love life, live life, trade it back.